Well, hello there YouTube, Red7394 here, and today I'm bringing you a deck profile because I thought I haven't really done one in a while, and the channel's getting a bit bland and stuff, so I decided to do one. Anyone that knows me at locals will recognise this deck straight away because it's kind of my main at the minute, and it's just a generally good deck. And I'll be explaining some of the cards I've chosen for specific reasons and stuff. So first up we have BLS. This card is probably the most broken card in the game right now. I mean, after the priority rule change, he's not as broken, but the double attack still makes him broken. If he breaks any monster, basically he does 3k damage to it. If you've only got one monster, he's basically done an extra 3k. So obvious why he should be into every deck in there. You should find a way to eliminate him. Then I have, this will give away the deck straight away, 2 Judgment Dragon, and yes, as you can guess, this is a Light Swan build. Judgment Dragon, after part, he's not as good as he was. He's still great for the 3000 attack, but he's not as good as he was. I would still run 3, but because of the priority rule change, I only think he's needed at 2 now. You can still devastate, but because you can bottomless him and stuff now, he's not as good. However, you can use him to bait out when they're trying to attack. Well, it's only like really strong monsters. I then have 2 Chaos Stalk. Oh yeah, if you see that I've got like commons like Dragon and Chaos Stalk in here, I am looking for rarity upgrades. If you have them, let me know because I'm willing to trade for them. But anyway, yes. Moving on, I have 2 Chaos Sorcerer. This card. Again, because you can't run 3 BLS, he kind of makes up for that. He's just a really good card. Again, with priority gone, he's not as good, but he gets the job done. And again, you can use him to bait for bottomless and stuff. I've done it before where I've summoned Chaos Source and it's bottomless and I've gone into BLS. I kept the BLS, which is often useful. Next up, I have 3 Viper, the Light Swan Hunter. This is probably the main Light Swan in the deck, and that's why it's at 3. In most of my old Light Swan builds, I've only run 2, but I just think in this build he's essential at 3 because you're trying to keep, because it's a Chaos build obviously, you're trying to keep a lot of Dark monsters in as well. So Viper is more efficient with milling, so he's definitely good. He's definitely a staple for any deck that wants to run BMS as well because of the mill. I then have 2 Lila. She's really good at 2, and she's 1700 attack level 4, so she's still quite viable as an attacking option as well. But her defensive effect, which basically puts her into defense, and that she pop an ST, so she's actually essentially an extra MST to the deck, so as well. Which what you can do is like summon Lila, turn to defense, pop like the bottomless or something if they haven't baited it, and then drop your BLS or your Chaos Stalk or something, which is often really useful. So Lila stays in at 2. I really like Lila as well because of the 3 mil. She makes the deck pretty good. She also pairs up with a lot of things because she's level 4 for monsters in the X pack. And then 2 Lumina. When they brought Lumina back to 2, they basically gave Light Swans their own tour guide, because that's essentially what she does. She just wait till you mill 1 and summon the other, and you basically get a tour guide out of it. And I run another level 3 Light Swan which I can bring out as well when eventually is level a rank. Needs 3 level 3s, which will be good. Also, one combo you can do is summon Lumina, drop a card, get the other Lumina, drop a card, get like a level 4, like for example Wolf or something, and just set up a great synchro extra Z combo because you can use it to go into Leviair and get your place spreader before you use place spreaders in this deck. You'll see in a minute. So 2 Lumina, because he's just needed to. 2 Wolf. A lot of people have told me I should run 3 because of how much milling I do. I disagree. I find I dead draw it sometimes even at 2, so at 3 would be way too much for me. He's really good, but in this deck he's a lot better at 2. But he's essential to Light Swans because he is at only 100 level 4. He's the strongest base attack Light Swan. So. And also if you only got Lila in defense, he can give you like some kind of backup to her if you manage to mill him. Then onto my single Light Swans, I have 1 Jane, 1 Ellen, and the level 3 which is Orcus. Orcus obviously because of Luna, because it's like Troll Guy with Renee Sangan. Erin because she's just, well, she's one of those cards that just really helps in Lightsworn, I think, and I think she's probably one of the better Lightsworns. Some people disagree. I think she's really good, especially this format, because there's a lot of cards that are going to start being flip effect sets and stuff, so she's really useful for that. And Jane, because Jane's just Jane, and she's really good for Lightsworn. And like, she gets the boost attack as well, which means she can take on other teams pretty easily. And they all mill, obviously, which is the most important thing for Lightsworns this deck. And then moving on to other monsters that aren't Lightsworns. I mean, Two Thunder King IO. This guy just shuts down the meta really well, so he's essential to the deck. Chaos Dragons can't get their searches, and Hero decks can't get their searches, which they're really essential on. You can't special summon on top of him because he can negate it, which can really turn the tides, because if your opponent won't special summon, or they'll attempt it, you can get rid of it in destructive plays. So Thunder King is really good. A lot of the time at locals, I find people that haven't come across how good Thunder King is, and I can usually sit them down really well with Thunder King. Two Active Gardeners, staple for the deck. One, he's a dark, so you can remove him for that. Also, he removed himself because he's, he can remove himself because he's, you know, how am I say? Yeah, he's basically a free negate attack once per time as a graveyard. So you run 2 because you're only allowed to, and he's just really good for that. Another combo you can do is if you've already removed him, you can Lumina, Lumina again into Orcus and get Levier, bring one back to Orcus to get you on the Viking. So that's a really good combo you can do with Levier. Next, I have Two Card Trigger. This card, again, is kind of essential to the deck, even though it's not a Lightsworn, because you get the mill, and because the mill's mid-turn as well, it can be really changed to Tide of Battle, because you get your chance to play Vision Dragon off it or something. It's really good, and when it's destroyed, you get the extra draw, so even though you might take a bit of damage, it's still worth it. And I'd really like Card Trigger. I'm gonna get polar upgrades of him, if anyone has them. One place for the zombie. Obviously, I mean, he's probably the only tuner you can really viably run in Lightsworns at the minute, apart from possibly Gunk Synchron because of Ryko. It should definitely be run. If we can have more than one, I would definitely say run it at 3. He makes the deck survival. He does remove himself as well, which is kind of annoying. But like I said, you can do a combo with Levier to get him back on the field and make a synchro, which is quite nice. I run one Spirit Reaper, just because Spirit Reaper, he shuts down a lot of decks and makes them have to give up one of their valuable destructions to be able to hurt you. And in a format where there's a lot of field destruction, this can be really helpful, because like you set up a node attacking and that can block them attacking, and if they want to attack you really, they have to get the Spirit Reaper. So Spirit Reaper can be useful, not really against Insectors, but against wind-ups and stuff, he's really useful. You can push that in first. One Gauze, obviously he stops the Rex attacks. This deck doesn't run much, well, it doesn't run any traps. I'll mention it now, this deck runs no traps, so Gauze is really essential because he stops oncoming direct attacks. Well, he doesn't stop them, but he takes them and gets you a monster. Same with Tragodia. A lot of time, if you have Tragodia and Card Troop on the field, Tragodia and Hounding close to the field, you can combo that together really well. When you destroy the Card Trooper, you take damage, so you can drop the Tragodia. So, yeah, so that's what Tragodia. And Tragodia can make the XYZ and Sync being part of this deck really easy as well. Plus it's a dark again. One Veiler, because it's level 1 tuner, and because obviously Veiler's really, especially now Priority's gone, Veiler becomes really good. I'm tempted to change my side deck around because of Veiler being good. So good now. One DD Crow, obviously again, and because it shuts down Insectors, Wind-Ups, and always shuts down Monster Bomb, which is always helpful. And the best utility monster in Lightsworns, Honest, because, you know, it's just that card. And I mean, it works with DLS and stuff as well, which is really nice, and it's just that card that makes everything happen. So Honest is really good. I'll move on to my spells. You haven't noticed, by the way, that's 31 monsters. Some people probably haven't taken, most people probably haven't taken, that's 31 monsters. It's nearly a monster mash deck. Charge the Light Brigade, obviously in light forms because it makes the milling. It gets you good mill and it gets you any light form you want. So you can add anything that will help yourself if you don't mill it. That's why I run like 2 and everything apart from gaining that. Resolar Recharge. Once again, this is staple for the build because, you know, it's, well, yeah, I can't really explain it other than that. It's staple for the build because of things like Wolf, if you dead draw them, and it just gets you the extra mills and draws. Bomb Monster Reborn, because, again, staple. Same with Haste from a Dark Hole. I want rarity upgrades with these because I really want to use them. So if you have them, let me know. And then I have one Pot of Avarice. Most times of the time I'll say Pot of Avarice isn't good for light swarms because you want to keep monsters engraved, but in this Twilight build it's really good because of because I don't run the traps, Recover Judgment, Dragon, or anything. I can usually get back in the deck and I can usually draw into it after that. And one Allo of Darkness, just because it's extra draw power to go along with slow recharge. I may need like a 4th recharge really. And most of the dark monsters in the deck, like Necro Gardener and like DD Crow stuff, and Place Spreader and Spit Reaper can afford to be removed if they have to be. It doesn't make too much difference in that. Right, that's the main deck done, so I'm going to go into the side deck now. 2 Star Dragon. This card is just, yeah, it's one of those cards you should side against anything because although they're not used very often, Machinas are still really popular in a minute, and they can do a lot of damage if you let them get away with it. So side decks are an essential, I think, in every side deck, isn't it? Next pack, when the next pack comes out and Gurgias come out, I'm actually probably going to main him over Thunder King just because of that reason. He's still good to main now because he's a special summon and he's strong, but I'd say once Gurgias come out, he'll be essential main deck if you're not playing Gurgias yourself because of how good he is. 2 DD Crow, I'm thinking of replacing one of the DD Crows with a Veiler because obviously the priority will change, these now main Veilers a lot stronger, but at the minute I'm really thinking of a 2 DD Crow because these do shut down insect doors and stuff and it's really helpful when you shut them down. And obviously at the minute, even though Veiler is good, DD Crow can still do more damage to like insect doors and wind-ups because it shuts down the loops and stuff. So. Second effect Veiler because obviously I only main one because of space, and I just think second one is nice. If I don't need DD Crow for a game, I will usually side Veiler over this DD Crow because it makes it simpler. Regen Light Imp. Obviously Dark Worlds are still really popular. Yeah. Dark Worlds are really popular, so just Gemini Amps are still in my opinion. I was made signing 3, but I'm now only signing 2, so not as popular. And this deck doesn't matter too much if they make me discard a lot, until they make me start discarding like PLS and stuff. A third Thunder King Ryo, because, you know, Thunder King just makes... a third bomb basically makes the deck even stronger, I need it, and it works, like I said, it works against decks it shuts down. The MST, so I don't main MST, but it's still really useful against like Dark World and stuff because of the field spell and whatnot, so I still main through those. It's also good against insect doors, so you don't get DD Crow in your first hand. 2 Smashing Ground for things like Rabbit with the really annoying XYZs that you can't get around. It basically gets rid of those, so Smashing Ground is really good. 1 Chain of Disappearance, obviously for Rabbit and Tour Guide. And yeah, that's why it's in there. I only run one because, well, I only side one because, you know, my deck can usually handle things like Troll Guide and Rabbit to an extent. So Disappearance only goes in at 1, and 1 Mind Crush. I don't know if this is available, but I do want it, however, it's a really good card. Especially when you're mirror matching Dark World, well, not really against Dark World. When you know your opponent's added something to their hand with an effect, like in insect doors, when you know they've added a certain insect or you can Mind Crush it and it really helps. So Mind Crush is always good. Now moving on to the side deck. First of all, I'll show you my little gauze token that I've been using. It's basically a painted Sangan. I quite like the idea. I kind of based it off a design a friend did for me when I gave them a card to scribble on, because they don't really play Yu-Gi-Oh! And things, but they had a scribble on it and they came up with they just did the box in black, and I liked it so much I went and kind of copied the idea and did the whole card in black. I even did, if I can get it out, the back in black. You can see there it's caught on a bit of paper, I just need to dry it. I did the whole back of the card in black as well, and that is my gauze token. It kind of just sits with the rest of my extra because I use it quite often, and I quite like it. Moving on to synchros. One eye on the arm, it's just a generic level 4. I make it very rarely. When I do make it, it can make a difference to the game, so it is important to the deck for me. On my command droid, she's been stapling light swarms for ages, and the fact that she's a light, so she gets the shielding and honest, and you can protect her, and she's got a nice attack and gives you extra life points. One TV Hyper Library, and this is because I don't have Castor, and it's the second, well, it's on par with Magic Commando being the strongest level 5. Also, if I do get my good loopy thing going with Levier and Plate Splitter, I do get draws out of it, so it can be useful at times. I wouldn't use it all the time, but it is useful. One beyond that, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Obviously, this guy's a staple. This is one of the last remaining Synchro Heavy decks, so he just becomes mainly viable in that because of that, and he can change the game because if you get him out at the right time, you can drop the right cards to make it run monsters and stuff. So he's really good. One Black Rose Dragon, obviously again a staple. It's not the hardest thing to make in this deck. It's like Chaos Sorcerer and Effect Veiler. Well, you know, there are ways to make it. I don't make level 7 very often, but she is useful. In fact, she's in the wrong place, but I'll sort that in a minute. One Iron Chain Dragon, this is because I'm waiting to get my hands on a Gaia, because it's a dark, and I'll explain that in a minute. But Iron Chain Dragon is just a good replacement. He's 2500, so for level 6 that's quite high, and whenever it does damage, your opponent mills. So unless you're mirror matching Twilight, it can be really effective, especially, well, I wouldn't use it against Insectors as much because they can special summon off it, but apart from that, yeah, he's just a really good level 5, level 6 even. One Ancient Fairy Dragon. I am missing some of the key synchros to my deck at the minute. So at the minute I run things like AFD because of field spells and whatnot, because like against start walls and stuff, she can be really useful getting rid of gates and getting user life points and stuff, so. And she's a 3000 wall as well, which is quite nice. One Colossal Fighter. There's a lot of warriors in this deck, like BLS, the Necro Gardeners, Jane, Erin, and I think I side quite a few warriors as well. Not to mention against any deck that is heavy on warriors, it's just great. Oh, that's not really warrior, but yeah. It easily becomes a 3000 beta. It's a dark, so it can be used later if it gets destroyed. And every time Crossfire gets destroyed by battle, you can keep bringing it back because it can target itself. So it basically becomes an indestructible wall by battle. Like if they waste an honest to destroy it, you just bring it back. And yeah. One Dark-Hand Dragon. The main reason I want Gaia Knight is because of him, because he's level 6, I can make with it and Plate Splitter, and he's just a generally good card. But the -500s can change the game if you control the right card. One Stardust Dragon, obviously staple. I was running 2, then decided to run Dark End, and I just think, I thought at the time the other synchros I was running were more essential than Stardust. And I don't really run Starlight Rogue because I used to side, so it's not as important to keep him anymore. But he's still good, still great to this day. Because I don't need synchros and XYZs much in this deck, I run one Chimera Force Dragon in my main, in my extra, because it means I can keep a card out of the side deck, the space, so I don't have to worry too much Well, I don't have to take a card of space, which is over that mine dropping changes to which can really make a difference. One Leviad Sea Dragon, as I mentioned earlier, it goes with the Lumina to make a nice combo. One number 17, the Fire Dragon, my other rank 3. I just really like her. Well, him. He's just a really good card at the minute because he's next to I can make him quite easily. One number 10 Illuminite. This is probably the only XYZ I'll take out of this because it's not the best. I mean, I've used it several times because it can work an extra solar recharge if times are dire. But apart from that, he's not the best, but he's quite nice. And I bought him at a sneak, so I kind of felt obliged to use him. One number 39 Utopia, because yeah, he's just Utopia. He's just really good, and he can change the game around, like letting you get the extra 2 times. So yeah, that's my Twilight deck at the minute. Any comments or rates or anything, please let me know in the comments section below. If you have any of the cards I want there, your grades of like Judgment, Chaos Sword, Doja, XX, let me know because I really do want to finish this deck off at 400. And there is a list of signatures I want somewhere that I'll probably post in the comments later or something. But yeah, this is my Twilight deck. I hope this video has been informative, and I hope you two will we'll try this deck, because a lot of people say Twilight's dead, but I think Twilight is still a really viable deck at the minute. So, thank you YouTube, Red17F1, signing off.